Mr. Josh, let's just get into it. Goose Gang, how you been getting along with it?
It's really fun. It's enjoyable. I like that it's just pretty chill.
Exactly. Yep,
So, yeah, it gets a little frustrating trying to figure out how to do certain things. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get the gardener to wear the hat, or how to trap the boy in the phone booth. But otherwise,
so there was an interesting thing. Funny enough, you say that fun. Because semi-related to kind of what's going on with that. And an article that came out earlier today, or was it yesterday, at least at the time of recording, but the developers said that they designed that game to be easier to figure out for people who are dicks. So all that means is that you're not that big of a dick, apparently.
You're a nice
person. You're not just naturally and cynically like plotting your day on how to ruin everyone's bullshit. So. Now, that was an interesting thing, though. They kind of said that the way they kind of tweaked all the puzzle solutions and stuff like that, they said are easier to find out if you kind of maniacally plan in your head shitty stuff to do to people more often than those who don't. So they did say that it actually is a factor they did take into account when developing the game. It's kind of a fucking how much of a dick are you measuring game.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It was interesting.
Cool.
So to hear you say that, Josh, all that means is you're actually a decent human being.
Way to go, Josh!
Congratulations.
I gave you a high five.
Yeah, she gave you a high five.
Which was just me high-fiving
Which was just her high-fiving herself to you through the internet.
I felt it. I could feel it.
Good.
But I actually started playing more of it again myself. This is actually going to segue into Josh's week, but I was just going to say that I also did play a bit more because I just finished up my 18-hour Deadly Premonition run. So now back to Goose Game and my other stuff I'm doing. But yeah, so wrapped it up just in time for Indivisible, though I still have a bunch of other shit I started that I still haven't finished. I'm on the fence of like, do I maybe just play enough to do Indivisible first impressions or a review? Or am I gonna just go ahead and just get right into it? Because I don't know, I already started Dragon Quest and I still haven't finished Astral Chain. The issue with Astral Chain being like a fucking like Dragon Quest and Astral Chain literally being like 80-hour games each, 100-hour games each. So it's like, fuck, goddammit. That's one problem about my niche taste, is not just is it niche, but like they're long-ass games. Yeah. Like Deadly Premonition is one of the shortest games that I like, in like my favorite, like if for those of you who saw my top 4, which actually it's been getting a lot of likes on Twitter, like in terms of like my general posts, which is usually like gets fuck all on Twitter. I've been getting good response to my response. I thought I was going to get a lot of flame, especially for having Final Fantasy VIII on there, but I actually got kudos for it. And Deadly Premonition is one of the shortest games I like, and it's a fucking 18-hour game, and that was me blazing through it with no side quests.
Ooh.
So, quote unquote, blazing through it. So that just, that's just how it goes, where that's like, yeah, so Deadly Premonition was one of the shortest games I like, and it's an 18-hour fucking game. Like, it's funny when I hear these people talk about the campaigns in some other games where there's like a Gears of War campaign, it's like 5 or 6 hours if you actually just play it, just a campaign. And then I hear about that, and I'm just like, that's it? And then the problem is a lot of my games, not just are they long to beat if you just go all the way through. If I did all the side quests in Deadly Premonition, that's like a fucking like at least a 50-hour game also. Damn. So, anyways, going back to you, Josh, how did you feel about like the dynamic soundtrack and everything? How when you started to get on watch, you need to shut the hell up. When you start to roll through it a bit harder, you start to hear the like the little jazzy kicking in and everything. I thought that was really cool. I really love that.
Oh yeah, it's real cute. Hilariously enough, it kind of makes me a little nostalgic because it kind of reminds me of like the soundtrack to Mr. Rogers. to be quite frank, like, it sounds like something you'd hear from Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. And it's just amazing how the soundtrack really is very similar, but the tone of the game and attitude of the protagonist is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The goose does not care about being a good neighbor.
Hell no. In fact, he cares about being the worst neighbor. Like, actually your objective. What else you got going on with you this week, Mr. Josh?
Still playing Fire Emblem. Got to watch Joker last night.
How was that?
It's good. It's a good film. hits pretty hard, but it's good.
I heard it's super dark.
Yeah, I've heard that. And see, this is the problem, is a lot of the articles I read make it sound so cringy because they're just like, this dark experience made people run from the theaters. And I'm just like, all right,
nah.
I don't know about running from the theaters. I believe it's deep or dark or emotional.
Yeah.
But putting a fucking clickbait-ass title like, man, you know, that Joker movie's got people running. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But anyways, but good though, huh? Good. I'm glad. I was hoping. I was hoping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Then I watched Trick or Treat, which I haven't seen in a good few years, so that was a good rewatch there.
Nice.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's a very not well known horror film. I think it came out in like 2007.
I think I only found out about through you, so yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other person I know who knows of it is Alex, I think.
Gomez?
I think he...
oops.
Nope.
Yeah, go.
There's more than one Alex Gomez on Earth. Y'all calm down.
This is
No,
true.
they're going to find that one.
Now they're going to find the one Alex
They're going to find the one.
Josh, did you see that at Spirit Halloween? They have a blanket of Trick or Treat. And it's so cute. Like, I want to buy it.
A Trick or Treat blanket.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah.
It's so
it's a
soft,
good little film written and directed by Michael Dougherty, who also directed Godzilla King of the Monsters. Little fun fact there.
Ooh.
It's a really good movie. Also, since it's October, I usually tend to watch a lot of old Monster Madness videos from James Rolfe, aka AVGN. Also, he's still doing more videos too.
Is he 40 already?
Huh?
Is he in his 40s already?
Is he? I don't know.
I just know that I always get surprised at his age. I'll look that up while you're talking, but go on.
Oh, I don't know, man. But yeah, he's still doing those videos. So that's entertaining. They started off with a small review of the Evil Dead series, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Fun fact that apparently, I didn't know about this, but apparently Nostalgia Critic made a review, a very terrible review, like a bunch of people are shitting on him for this, but really?
He supposedly did a review to Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh.
And it was really, really bad.
Oh, man.
No.
And apparently they even got Rob Scallion, if I'm pronouncing the name right, to do like a parody album, which is still very bad. And yeah, it just really seems like Nostalgia Critic just really didn't grasp any of the themes from that album and just made a really, really terrible record and overall video review on it. And strangely enough, it had the guy from Stone Sour and Slipknot, what's his name, Corey Taylor?
What does Corey Taylor think?
I don't know. I didn't, but he was in the video somehow.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
slightly confusing.
Didn't Nostalgia Critic have like a really... I'm sure he's had a few. But I want to say he had another very controversial review back in the day. I can't remember what it is. But I want to say he's been under the I don't know what to say. What turn of phrase is best to say. But he's been in trouble before for saying a very see, I hate because it's an opinion, right? And critics can say whatever they want. Mm-hmm. But it was basically very seen as very unjust, I suppose, or unwarranted opinion of it being bad. And I want to say he did that to something else before. He's had a pretty heated one. I know he's had positively funny ones like The Room. Mm-hmm. But I want to say he had another one where it was pretty not great.
To my knowledge, I don't know. I mean, I don't watch him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, his videos just aren't good anymore.
Yeah,
back when they were
really
much more low budget and condensed, they were good, but now that he's trying to be quote-unquote big budget, because it still looks shitty, it's just not, he's just not very entertaining. But I do remember way back when, in one of his old videos, he apparently got a lot of shit for saying something bad about Mako. and so that apparently became a recurring joke.
Oh, okay. Maybe some shit like that. But
I do know that there is a lot of controversy regarding Channel Awesome in general.
Okay. All right. What else you got going on?
I think that concludes for me.
Miss Mallory?
Well, it's been a busy week. Destiny 2 dropped, so been playing a lot of that.
Getting on with that?
Yep. But I was reading that there's a game glitch that kind of sucks right now, where you can't get one of the quests, and my game is glitched in that way, so I can't get the next story quest right now until I go back to the postmaster. But I've been back to him like 3 times, and I still haven't gotten it, so I'm going to have to look up more. I just didn't have time to do it, because we started more Halloween stuff this weekend, and then I played a little bit more of Hollow Knight, which was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I got to play Jumping Joe, which I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's on the Switch, but it's literally just a little like platformer game that you just jump. That's all you do. You jump left and you jump right, and you jump up this tower, and you see how high of a level you can get.
I've seen something really similar to that weird ass game. I've seen that. It's a really odd title, but you play as a guy like stuck in a pod, and you have a pickaxe, and you're trying to toss yourself over this mountain. It's like one of the hardest fucking games ever, apparently. Using physics to do that shit, but it reminds me of that. It sounds like that.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. Me and my friend were playing it. Oh, it's called Jumping Joes and Friends. But yeah, all you do is jump from platform to platform, and you have to jump left or right. But you're going up. So we were playing that. I think we played that for like 2 hours on Saturday, just trying to get as far as we could. And then my sister finally beat Link's Awakening, which honestly was really good. The animation at the beginning and the end of the game is really good. Because you start, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you start off with a cutscene, and it's all like kind of like Studio Ghibli animation. Yeah, and then you go to chibi mode. And that's how you play the game. You play through that. And then at the end, it brings back the original animation from the beginning. So that was really cool. And then we played, because at some point we just got too tired doing Halloween stuff, because we have to build these pillars. That we started playing the Puyo / Tetris game together. We were playing that on...
Puyo.
Yeah. And we were playing that on the Switches, and we all had it all hooked up to the TV and everything, so we were playing versus mode. And you could definitely tell who was way more intoxicated at that point, because we were all drinking, because we're adults. So we were doing that, and we all made the comment like, hey, this is what adults do on Saturday nights. No more going out, we just sit here and play video games. And then... yeah, I played, right before this, I was on Destiny 2, not doing any of the real quests, like the campaign quests. I was playing Crucible, but we did find out that there's a bunch of stuff that links it back to Destiny 1, which was really cool. They have a lot of Easter eggs in there. Like, when you get to the moon, you can do this certain, side quest, and you can get the purple ball, I think.
Do you get to hear a terrible line about the wizard coming from the moon or some stupid-ass shit like that?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
So
well, that was from Destiny 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Destiny 1.
I know,
yeah,
it's so bad.
That wizard came from the moon.
It's so stupid! Oh, God.
But, I mean, it was a good week for video games. I actually got time to do that, so, and then...
Good.
Other than that...
You know, it's actually really good to hear all of us actually playing games, and I think that's almost why John kind of fell out of love with the podcast, is that he didn't care about hearing the industry news, which is fair. We already talked about Gavin last time, you know, and that's why he left Podquisition. But I definitely did for a while. I was actually more into just following the politics because I wasn't playing games, so I was just like, well, what nasty shit's happening in the industry, even if it's not has to do with anything I'm playing games, really. But I've gotten back into games lately, and it's just nice to hear us all kind of talking about what we played.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting because it's all pretty different.
And the last big thing I did this weekend was I dyed my hair.
There you go.
I used to dye it all the time, and then I just stopped.
shit brown now.
It's a really pretty red with indigo in it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't lie to the
red.
fans.
It's red. Yeah, it is red.
My sister
indigo
was like,
red.
you look like you did in high school, and I just see you playing with your headset on, and you're still just the same kid.
You're just an anime character now.
I was like, pretty much. Pretty much. So, yeah, that's been what's going on with me. What's been going on with you, Patrick?
Well, I'm going to keep it short because if I don't, I'm going to talk about Deadly Premonition for the rest of the podcast, so let's not do that. It's my fourth full playthrough. I first played the game back in 2013, so I beat it 4 times all the way through. With a game that long, it's really not the easiest game to just keep playing over and over again. And I don't normally replay games, but that's how much I love it. It's why it's probably my second favorite game of all time after Morrowind. But cool thing is they are dropping a physical collector's edition of it for Switch. So not just did that shit come back from the dead, get a sequel that by industry standards it does not deserve. And also now has a fancy collector's edition with a badass case and 6 really nice pins, which I'm going to be getting in next month. But yeah, no, shit's awesome. Like I just every time I get to the end of that game, even though I already know it's going to happen, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I get hit with all the emotions of remembering when I first beat the fucking game and I was just like, the fuck is happening? But like, I loved every second of what the fuck. Like, it's one of those very few times that I'm more confused at the end, and that's absolutely fine. Usually I hate that. Usually I hate it when shit opens up more questions or is confusing or is nonsensical or whatever. There's a little bit of all that, but it's great, and it's appropriate for this game. So I'm just like, awesome. I just get the nostalgia of that first time I beat it over and over again every time I get to it, and I love it. It's really good. But yeah, the only other thing, non-video game related, I want to talk about 2 things actually. One, Wooly was in Florida this past week now 2 weeks ago when the time this is going to air, and he was at CEO Taku in Florida, which is part of Jebaiting's series of tournaments, so this is the more anime one. But Wooly was there and talked about a couple of things that made me laugh. He talked about how he was in Florida, and of course, he decided to go to the store at almost 4 a.m. to get some supplies for the next day, and comes out of the Walgreens or whatever the fuck it is that's open that late, and he said he described it as what he saw was the Florida man, and he said he just came out of the store, he saw a man, and knew that if he continued to walk towards the man, he would get killed. Okay. So he immediately, and he said, you don't turn around because you turn your back to the guy. You don't let him out of your sight, so you do a 90-degree turn and keep your eye on the guy with your peripheral to not be too suspicious and walk away from Florida man. So he did that and survived America once again. Yeah. But one thing he did talk about, and he said maybe this is a cultural difference thing being Canadian, but he did mention, he goes, anytime he's in the States, primarily in the southern states, he said, he always sees in the witching hour, because all the events he goes to the after party, so of course he's always out late. You want to get something to eat or you want to get some shit for the hotel, you're going to go to a convenience store in the middle of the night or early morning. And he talks about how he goes, there's always a car in a parking lot, and it's the only car, and the headlights are on, but not the internal lights, and the car's running. He goes, why the fuck is that a thing? And I thought to myself, I've seen that shit so many times, and I always just thought it was a part of life. Like, maybe they're there to pick up someone who gets out of work in a couple hours at 4 in the morning. Maybe it's like, but he was so, confused. Like, he's like, back home in fucking Montreal, he goes, at that hour, there's no car just sitting there. He goes, if there's someone in the parking lot and they are doing something, they're about to leave, or if they lost something or they're looking for their cell phone, the cabin light's on, not the headlights, or the car's not running, or the car just started, or whatever. He goes, there are all these scenarios where obviously a car in a parking lot's not the problem. He goes, but it's always a weird car, the headlight's on, no one else is there, it's completely empty parking lot, and there's just that guy sitting there with the headlights on. He goes, if they were fucking with a prostitute, the car would at least be moving. He just started going through all these scenarios. And I kept laughing, and I was just like, oh, Canadians.
No.
I need to go to Canada Land.
They're like the
one of these
sweetest
days.
people.
I would like to go meet them. No, they were super nice. Like, meeting them, even though Paige is American, but meeting Pat and Wooly was a great experience. They're absolutely awesome people. So, but I just thought it was funny. It's always funny, though, when their minds get destroyed here in the States. It's because I always forget that even though we're so similar, like culturally Western and all that stuff, some pretty damn different cultural stuff. So, yeah, it's very interesting. The only other thing was congratulations to Brennan Williams on his recent promotion to Raw co-host along with Jerry Lawler. So, yeah, it's really cool seeing Brennan on there and literally being, like, the biggest fuck-ass on earth and trying to sneak in as many anime and video game references as he can, like an asshat. I really hope that if there isn't already, I really hope a subreddit or a NeoGAF thread opens up where we can discuss every week what Brennan got in there.
Yes.
You know, whether he tries to... The Pat and Wooly joked about him talking to John Cena, trying to get him the "you can't see me" thing, but stopping and then leaning back a bit with his arm a little bit further back and maybe doing a little bit of a pose and holding it for a minute in the ring. And I just kept laughing. I was just like, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Brennan. But, yeah, but congratulations, you know. Went from... football player and wasn't really digging it in the NFL, wanted to become a wrestler. I love what he mentioned in the podcast when he was a guest. I'm going to wrap this up so we can get to the news because we have about enough time for the news. And he did talk about how he was actually kind of losing his passion for football anyways, so it kind of worked out really well that he ended up becoming a wrestler because he said... Obviously, if the wrestling thing didn't work out, he probably would have stayed as a football player just to have a job. Because, you know, it's what he trained for initially. But he said he really was starting to fall out of love with it. He's towards his end of the time in his NFL career, he was just not really not feeling it. So he said he's really glad the wrestling thing panned out because he's still loving it. And, so congrats, man. Not just, fucking waking all the way up to fucking host. I mean, obviously we all want to see him in the ring. But... until then, as he's doing, house shows and whatnot, it is awesome that he's in front of the camera. And it's great because the WWE doesn't get it. And I absolutely love it. Like, they took a big risk with him because WWE actually gave him the promotion because, one, they needed a new co-host for Raw, but two, his social media push is hard. And the WWE sees it, and they're just like, the wrestling fans and fucking anime nerds, because they have WWE has a bundle with Crunchyroll, so if you get the network and Crunchyroll together, it's cheaper. They've had that since 2017. I just found out about it recently. But anyways, they were just like, wow, you're a social media fucking god. Like everyone loves you. All the wrestling fans love you. All the like both... all the legit, like, all the New Japan only, like, we only watch New Japan and real wrestling, all the anime fans, they love you. Alright, fuck it, man. We don't know what the fuck it is or why they like you so goddamn much, but cool, man, let's do this. Yeah. And they gave him a chance, and it's been really fun seeing him on there. It's cool because he keeps it professional, but you still see him glowing, where it's like a fan who made it. Like, he's like, this kid who just watched with delusions and grandeur as a child of becoming a wrestler one day is now, fucking commentating on the premier elite wrestling show on fucking national TV. So, it's great. So, congrats to Brennan. Getting into the video game news, we're actually going to continue on what Mal was talking about just a little bit because you already covered a good amount of it, but it's Destiny 2. Shadowkeep dropped. As we talked about last time that we were going to get into it or play or be interested in it. I played the free-to-play version because I didn't pick up Shadowkeep yet. So again, as I mentioned a few months ago, pretty much all the current content for Destiny 2 was given as a, it's all free. So that went free to play. But it's basically a full game. You just got to get the expansion. So I say it's fair. I think people... are thankfully not calling it some weird money gouging thing or whatever because it's legit just like, look, this shit already exists. Like, we're honestly just giving you a head start on trying it out. So, there's that. It did have a bit of a rocky start in terms of people are liking the game, but there's a few technical foibles. I think that's what they get from hanging out with Activision Blizzard too much, who's notorious for launch nonsense. But as Blizzard does, even though they're not with them anymore, rocky server issue, the game crashed within about 6 hours of it launching. The servers totally went down. I don't know who's running netcoding for them, or if Bungie's doing it all internally, or who's working on that side of the infrastructure, but if it is them internally, and I don't know how much experience they have in that, it's understandable. When you have your free-to-play version, which means you have a lot more people than normal that would be playing this game, plus your regular Destiny loyals and the returning ones, it was a big relaunch.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very interested in Shadowkeep, so they just got overloaded. I think they prepared their best, and they got it up after a few hours, but it went down hard because it was just, a lot of people on. But people are liking it so far. I've heard mostly positive response. A few glitches, like you said, kind of unfortunately game-breaking. However, this is where a live service game, in this sense, comes into play being a positive thing, is since there's not really save files, they can patch fixes into everyone's stuff. So you're not just completely fucked, thankfully. They'll patch it, you'll be good.
They put out, because I had to scour the internet to figure out what was going on, because we were running through it, just so we could get through it, but they had put out that there was a glitch, and then they told us how to fix it for right now until they patch it.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. And then definitely all the Destiny 1 references were really cool. The load time still sucks, but that's every Destiny game.
They're just that.
Yeah.
MMOs in general.
That's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, will just be a thing.
We were laughing about that too, because we were like, we're still in orbit, not going
graphical
anywhere.
Capacity, because you gotta understand, graphical capacity, matching everyone's ping, all that nonsense comes into play.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
But
aside that, good.
So far it's really good. Yeah. I'm excited.
Even on the free-to-play side of things, it was almost nice getting back into Destiny, because as I mentioned in my Borderlands 3 review, I actually, as many people have hated it, I said I have more fun. As far as looter shooters go, I've been having more fun. As legendary of a time I had as in Borderlands 2, I've had more fun in Destiny lately, in terms of the way they do their loot and playing with friends, than I did in Borderlands lately.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of brought that fun back to me. I'm more so not picking up Shadowkeep, not for financial reasons, just because, I do have a lot of games coming out. But primarily because, honestly, time management.
Yeah.
Destiny's a lot of fucking time, and I just don't got it right now, unfortunately. I wish. When the drought hits eventually, which it's not anytime soon, because through March, I have a whole schedule of games to play. It's good to see that it is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I hope it does, because Bungie has a lot of... they have a big shadow to walk in, because... You have Destiny 1 and 2 already kind of not meeting expectation to begin with, in terms of financially it did, but expectation-wise it didn't. Activision Blizzard, because of their shenanigans, set them back hard in terms of their own roadmap and internals and what they wanted to do with the game. And they've also promised a lot that they've wanted to do with the game. So now it's put your money where your mouth is, and we'll see. I think that the way that they've treated the bounce back is good. Making the entire year 1 content, or year 2, or whatever the fuck how many years it's been out, free to play, make your new stuff pay to play at expansion prices instead of full, and then on top of that have the cross save thing. I think they're treating the bandaging right, but will the bandages stick until the injuries are healed? That's what I'm most curious about, what happens. So we'll see. That will take quite a bit of time to see. But so far, they're moving in the right direction. So
I'm definitely glad that it's just Bungie now, and they're not having to go through Activision or Blizzard anymore.
Because 2K, God, if they did that,
it's honestly, watching the cutscenes and listening to the lore again is awesome. So, and it's
Destiny's always had an interesting world, and I think it's a shame why it's been lost behind kind of meh writing or having to go through a fucking grimoire to read all that shit, because it has the potential to be epic.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting that. It looks nice. It looks very pretty. I was going through, but it's that time of year where all my, Facebook memories are popping up, so I've been seeing a lot of my old Destiny, when Destiny 1 and 2 first came out and seeing all those posts and stuff like that, I'm just like, good times.
Yeah.
The game was pretty.
The nostalgia.
The nostalgia. I'm assuming, Josh, you probably didn't get to touch it due to time management.
Yeah, not yet, no.
I definitely advise at least firing up the free-to-play version on Steam and just, like, fucking around with it a little bit just to see how you like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that's an option. Because I think free-to-play at this point is very important to win people back.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is a lot. With all these games coming out, that is a lot to ask for. Man, there was a game that announced its... Oh! Apparently, this wasn't on the document. I want to go ahead and cover it now. It is relevant to news. I just wasn't sure whether or not I'm talking about. Now that we're talking about this, I think it is relevant. It became relevant. Apparently, Persona 5 Royale plans to go head-to-head with Final Fantasy VII Remake in release date.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
So, I love you, Persona 5, but I don't know if that's the wisest decision.
Yeah.
I think people that are going to play Persona 5 are going to play Persona 5. You have those people who weren't going to play Final Fantasy 7 anyways, like Josh. But it's still ballsy because their fan bases do have a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
So, and also from a sales perspective, which, let's face it, sales are important. You're going up against a huge tower.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is arguably one of the most, like the rest of Square's titles as of late, because of how long it's fucking taken for them to put out these games, but how beautiful and good they are when they do come out. That's a huge one to go up against.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It's unlike Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3, which built up anticipation through time. Final Fantasy 7 is also the remake of what, even though it's not our favorite Final Fantasy, it is arguably what's considered the pinnacle Final Fantasy game. That's getting a lot of love and care, and in my opinion, looking awesome. That's a huge one to go against.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Persona 5 Royale is going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. But, wow, what a move. But apparently, Atlas plans to stick with it. And they chose something with the whole financials and stuff is why it needs to come out around that time. And other plans they have for other games coming out. But,
I mean, it's ballsy.
Yeah, but it's very ballsy.
It's very ballsy.
You're talking, you should at least do maybe a month deviation or something like that. But, nope, they're just going to go in. So
I'm interested to see how that works out.
And then I don't know yet if, I think it was supposed to come out later this year in Japan and then sometime first or second quarter in the US, but the Persona, the Musou game that's coming out, which right now is the only confirmed Persona game for Switch at the moment, which I still think Royal or even base Persona 5 dropping on Switch would be another amazing pickup for Switch. And I think it's doable. I think graphical compression with the animation, I think it's very doable. With how beautiful Dragon Quest looks and stuff like that, I really don't see... Like Witcher, you have opinionated people. You have Digital Foundry who pointed out from a technical aspect, Witcher does look good considering what the Switch can do or can't do, depending on what side you're on. But then you have people like Pat who are like, looks like dog shit. That's how it's gonna fit on Switch. It's gonna look bad. Which, he's not wrong. I mean, comparing it to the beautiful PC version, yeah, it looks like shit. But that's a bit subjective because the fact that they even A, attempted it, and B, it doesn't look awful on Switch, and seems to run fairly fine for the most part. I'm curious. It actually comes out in a couple of weeks. I'm still debating on picking it up for there because I already own it on fucking PC and PlayStation and Xbox. But maybe. I do like it a lot, so maybe it'll warrant me taking it around. That's actually one thing I love about the Switch lately that has helped me get back into games is the fact that I can play it to go. Because I haven't been doing a lot of my gaming here. It's either been on break at work or when I'm out and about. So one of my things that's been reconnecting me with gaming is the Switch, so I do thank it for that. But we'll see. Persona 5 Royal versus Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Christ. But we'll see. Part 1. Part 1 of Now We Don't Know. I think it was originally planned to be a trilogy, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Now we're going to see that they said that it could take forever. We'll see. I have mixed feelings about that. I love the fact that you're going to get this full experience per zone, basically. But I really don't know if I want to wait until I'm 80 to fucking finally finish it. But we'll see. Brain Age, for anyone who played that on the old DS. Fun puzzle game.
I remember that game.
Makes you think. Gotta use the old brain, as the title would imply. It also gives you the age of your brain, based on the scores, depending on how clever you are or whatever. But That's coming back with a brand new entry on Switch. So that was announced recently. Original staff is on board. Original creators on board. So that's cool. Those games are always
Hope it still has Sudoku.
If you want to test someone's brain levels, that's where I flunk out. Because I'm not a Sudoku person. I'm not good at it, is the only reason. But, yeah. Good old brain age. Speaking of CEO Otaku, I was laughing at a tweet I saw recently. I retweeted it because it's fucking stupid. But at CEO Otaku, the Melty Blood stage, they were talking about the Melty Blood tournament. And Bailey himself, fucking asshat that he is, tweeted out a photo saying that the Melty Blood tournament had to be relocated due to space constraints. And it was just a picture of a bathroom with signs on each stall that it's the Melty Blood tournament and one fucking laptop being the fucking... Oh my god. I just thought that was the dumbest shit. As you'd imagine, he posted it on Twitter. So, it's gotten two very different responses. You have three very different responses. The antis, who are obviously going to be negative about Melty Blood, but they don't really... Who cares? They're always going to be like that. And then you have the two types of Melty Blood fans. The ones who rolled with the punches and were like, oh my god, that's hilarious, yada yada yada, and were good, it was cool about it, and they were just like, ha ha ha. But there really was an actual thing I saw where people were getting very serious about it, where the hashtag Melty Blood is a good game actually got minorly trending. It was a joke, guys. Jebaiting wouldn't have had it at the tournament at all if it was like... If you didn't like it, or if it was absolutely an entirely trash game. So, I don't have much hands-on with Melty Blood, but I've heard it's fine. Josh, did you play much? Have you played much Melty Blood? You a Melty Blood guy?
Way back when, shit. Like, before it even was on console, when it was only on PC, was when I played it.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you were back in there.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. And then Under Night is kind of like the spiritual successor. Like, it takes place in the same universe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they do. I've heard that. That's
I mean, Melty Blood's a fine game. It's okay. So.
But yeah, the picture made me laugh, though. That was a good picture. A good meme.
Yeah, this is memes.
Jebaiting's he can be a bit of a jackass, but I love it. Continuing fighting game news, we have the T-800 trailer. So, looks fine. I'll let you talk more on the technical aspect on it. The thing I just can't get over is Arnold's likeness, but not voice. That's where I get a little like, why even bother then? Like, maybe I'm being...
Oh, we're talking about MK11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that voice was pretty cringy.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little too picky, but I don't see the... To me, it's like running half the race and then giving up for no reason in the middle. It's like, you license his looks. That had to have been expensive. Like, you couldn't rope in him signing a contract to do the voice too? At that point, I would have just figured him out then. I would have been like, oh, can we get your voice and looks? Oh, just one or the other? Yeah. Hey, Bruce Campbell, what's going on? You never appeared in half the games you talked about.
It does suck how that is a thing. Like, you need to get licensing for both the appearance and for the voice. It's kind of ridiculous.
or else you get a fucking DJ what's-his-fuck situation.
Oh, yeah, the Dimitri Vegas. And it's so weird. It's like MK11 is just now starting to have, like, this bad track record regarding voice acting. Because, I mean, it started off with Ronda Rousey being Ronda Lousy. And then the Dimitri Vegas skin, it's cringy as fuck. And then this wannabe Arnold. It's not even, like... It's like, there are good Arnold impersonators out there.
My friend does a very good Arnold impersonator. You could just hired him. He actually is a very good one. But, yeah, I don't know, it sucks. And, like, the thing that it makes me think of is, like, before Guitar Hero started licensing music, and they did covers, and it reminds me of the really bad Dave Mustaine, not Dave Mustaine in Hangar 18. That was a awful... I mean, okay, to be fair, he wasn't trying to be Dave Mustaine, but it reminds me of that kind of thing where it's like, the guy almost doesn't even seem like he's trying to even be Arnold anymore. He's just... You guys... I can imitate it so bad. But getting away from the negatives of MK11, what do you think about the way his character looks and plays? Anything interesting from actually looking at it from an objective playing point of view?
I mean, I think it's kind of cool that he's got that move where it's almost like Undead Jason and MKX, where it looks like, when you beat him and he comes back, but he's in the, he's just in the full robot mode. That looks pretty neat. I mean, his toolkit looks alright. I think the one thing that did annoy me was that he has a teleport, because so many characters in MK11 seem to just be getting teleports. Like, they gave Liu Kang a teleport.
Yeah, I heard. Did that have something to do... and this is where I barely heard this, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that have something to do with Shang Tsung or something like that? Like, some characters having that teleport thing, so they're starting to just kind of add it to everyone to try to balance it? I thought I heard some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know on the specifics of that. I mean, there were characters with teleports even before Shang Tsung came out in the game.
Okay.
But it's just kind of annoying now. So that's kind of weird. That's probably the only thing I don't like. But of course, we don't know what's going to be in his actual tournament variations. That's always the thing that sucks about seeing these character reveals, is they show all these different moves, but it's going to come down to what's actually going to be playable in a tournament. So, they might have done... I don't know if they did the combat cast already. If they did, I didn't catch it. So they might have shown what's in his tournament toolkit, but I'm not really sure. I think he's going to be coming out in a couple of days, actually.
Very soon, very soon. From the time this drops, he either is out already or right about to.
Yeah, I think it's, I want to say it's October 8th, but I could be wrong.
If it's October 8th, that would make sense, because that's also when Indivisible drops, so that's probably when it comes out. Like, video game release time stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for Switch for that one.
There you go. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, speaking of which, let's just get right into it. I was going to talk about Indivisible anyways. Well, I have to skip a couple things on the docket, because I showed up late to the recording, so we're hard-pressed for time. A little bit. Not really, but I'm just trying to keep it concise. We were going to talk about Resident Evil 2 and Monster Hunter, but you guys can just watch the trailer. I'll link it in the thing below. That's all. I mean, it's a thing to watch. It's Resident Evil 2 in there. Okay. By the time this uploads, Indivisible will be dropping tomorrow, because today's technically Monday the 7th. So, yeah, tomorrow, and you can probably get Arny. Of course, still no word on the Switch. I reached out to 505 as well as Lab Zero to try to get some form of, like, thing I could talk about to explain it, or get some sort of tidbit on any type of news, because there's no official outlet has talked about it yet. So I was A, hoping for a nugget, or B, just to know. But unfortunately, still no word on that. I know they haven't been able to discuss whether it's certifications or Nintendo or their problem or whatever. But it is a game I don't see why it would have any issues porting to Switch, and it looks perfect for the Switch. It's a bit of a shame it's not going to drop when the rest of them do, but there's a physical release of that, which right now, if you try to pre-order, it just has the generic release date of December 31st, 2019, so probably even be later than that, honestly. But hopefully sooner rather than later. There's 2 games I'm waiting to drop on Switch that are confirmed to be coming out on Switch, just without dates yet. That's like driving me crazy because I want to play both of them. Well, I played one already, but Indivisible, of course, and Matt McMuscles, formerly of Super Best Friends Play, his game that's been out on PC for a while, but trying to drop on PS4 and Switch for a while. The Takeover. He did already update us that it's been in certification for forever. For fucking, he said that it's like a 3-month process, sometimes 4 months, for Switch and PS4, but he's hoping that it'll drop before the holidays.
Okay.
So Takeover, if you're fans of Streets of Rage or anything like those type of beat-em-ups, Matt is a huge fan of those, so he living the dream and just went out, hooked up with some friends, designers, and got his ideas out on there. It's really cool. Very, very Streets of Rage. There's a character that reminds me of Wooly, go figure. And so, good stuff, man. Go. I can't wait to get it. It's like $20 on Steam right now, and that's been out for a while. I forgot if it's running under the early access banner or not, because I'm fairly sure it is the full game, so I think it might just be fully out on Steam. So I'd imagine a reflected rice tag. Jesus Christ. Hang me now.
Someone's tired tonight.
A reflective price tag on Switch and PS4, and if it is, $19.99, so well worth it. Really cool stuff. They're going to be adding more multiplayer stuff. Really, really cool stuff. So, yeah, you like stuff like Streets of Rage, Double Dragon. He's big fans of those. This is very much in those vein type of thing. Speaking of multiplayer, Super Mario Maker 2 finally, months later, adds online play with friends.
Sweet.
Because they had online play since launch, but didn't have online play with friends, only randoms, because they were worried that people were going to manipulate the leaderboards. The exact same excuse they gave out for Splatoon 2, the exact same excuse they give out for almost every first-party game, because if you look at your Switch right now, for ladies and gentlemen who have not or don't know about this, if you look at your Switch library and you look for cloud save backup, it's disabled on almost all of your first-party titles, because Nintendo's so scared of save data manipulation and all this bullshit. I think they don't understand how lazy everyone is here in 2019.
Yeah.
Like, if they're not going to do it on a computer and hack it that way, and then put it back on or use a ROM or some nonsense like that, most people don't go out of their way. Most. I know some people still do, but most people don't go out of the way to get 2 Switches, 2 cartridges, do a trade, and pop the cartridge out, and fucking, all this nonsense and all this, but they're so scared of that. They're so scared of you duping your EVs or some shit like that. That's why it's on in Pokemon. With Splatoon 2 and Super Mario Maker 2, they didn't have... with Super Mario Maker 2's case, they didn't have online with friends and blah, blah, and then no cloud. Animal Crossing, no cloud.
Yeah, no cloud.
It's just like, fuck's sake, Nintendo. You guys
We are
so good
pretty lazy.
You're really fucking pissing us off in other ones, man. The no cloud save backup thing is just 100% a nonsense thing.
Yeah.
When it's something your brand and content and your online service features as a service, it should be in fucking everything.
Yeah.
Just like it is on PlayStation and Xbox. It's so fucked up because, if you get a service interruption, so you cancel your Nintendo, your Live or whatever, there's a chance, they don't promise that your cloud saves will stay intact. Ooh. So there's a risk that if you decide to interrupt, I haven't played my Switch in a year. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it for a couple of months. Yeah. Oh, I'm back into my Switch. Oh, my cloud save data's gone. And I sold my original Switch. And now, oh no.
I have to do all that again.
It's just stuff like that. The fact that they separated the in-game voice chat to make a shitty app for your phone. Like, just moves like that are so Nintendo, but I hate the fact that they have such a bad MO for it. But classic Nintendo, unfortunately, in that sense. Then you have stuff like the Switch being amazing and grabbing all these cool games and even giving Breath of Life to obscure titles that I wanted to see on there. And I'm just like, I love you. Then I see their flaws, and I'm just like, could you just keep facing that way? I love that side of your face.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where I'm just like, ugh. And this is just another thing
it's
like
irritating.
That. But the good thing about this is it shows that Nintendo does try to listen to its fans, and by adding online play with friends now on Mario Maker and just being like, I don't know if they ended up disabling the leaderboards, but that ended up being a suggestion that people had, which makes so much fucking sense if you think someone in development would have thought of this, which is, how about when you play with your friends, leaderboards get disabled?
Yeah.
The end. Fix that. It's just like, everyone within the day of the announcement of or people playing and finding out, however people found out, they solved it right then and there in one sentence. How to solve that. Oh, you're playing with friends? At that game, that round, disables leaderboards. Like, that's it.
Makes sense.
But that's one of those things. In Pokemon sense, I almost see it as a bit of a cache problem thing, where I think they might... Now, they announced it. I've heard conflicting things. I heard they announced it because if you look at the flowchart for what the Pokemon Bank will cover, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu were on there, but then I heard conflicting things where Nintendo was like, actually not. So now I don't know what's exactly true, but if it is true that you will have cloud saves now with Pokemon Bank, maybe not officially Nintendo cloud saves, but now Pokemon Bank, I'm like, I see what you guys are doing there. That's a little... Okay, I guess.
Maybe.
But, I'm just like... But so Pokemon Bank apparently will still all be interlinked with Pokemon Sleep, which what the fuck was the name of the device they're gonna have for Pokemon Sleep? It's like the dumbest fucking thing. It's like the Pokemon Plus Plus.
I can't even remember.
It's like,
I don't even know.
I think it's like, yeah, it's something really dumb like the Pokemon Go Plus Plus or some shit now. It's weird. But that's the one, for those who don't know, that's going to track your sleep, and it's like Pokemon Go for while you're sleeping and all this nonsense.
That just seems a bit much, though. Like, I think
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Even big Pokemon marks are like, alright, you're tracking our sleep now, that's
a bit weird.
like Big Brother.
Get your Pokemon Fitbit.
But you know they're going to use Snorlax as the mascot for that, and everyone's going to fall in love with it and want it so badly, whatever
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
But,
who doesn't love Snorlax?
Snorlax is so cool. But yeah, it's stuff like that where that I can at least see the kind of semi-scummy pushing your own service thing. But for everything else, I'm just like, come on, guys. Like, this is such a fucking, it's a non-issue, and then on top of that, it's a fucking, like, 2006 problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, come on, guys, what the fuck? Funny news about cross stuff, because we talked about,
Yes,
what
it's
is it called?
the Pokemon Plus Plus.
Yeah, the Pokemon Plus Plus, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, it doesn't, probably.
It's just 2 pluses.
That's it. They're just snuggling. I wish that'd be a lot cuter. But yeah, speaking of crossplay stuff, so we talked about there's 2 crossplay news coming up. So first one we're going to talk about has to do with what we were talking about last time. Remember when I talked about Destiny, if it does have crossplay in Crucible, that's a bit fucked up for people who are going to be playing PC versus console? Well,
Yeah.
recently, Epic announced that Fortnite's crossplay on everything, including PC, and people were like expressing their issues, like PC players having the obvious advantages we always discuss when it comes to this stuff. Epic's answer is, oh well. We hear your
Well, it's what y'all
concerns,
wanted,
so they did officially address it. Essentially, is very dismissive, very nonchalant, but the response was essentially, players, Fortnite lovers, all you people giving us literally billions of dollars, we hear you, and we raise you a not going to do anything about it. We're going to try our best to make sure it's as balanced as possible, a.k.a. how console has aim assist when you use a controller and stuff like that. But if it's imbalanced, you guys are going to kind of have to deal with it. But we heard you, though, man. That was a good complaint. Makes a lot of sense. But there's a lot of effort to fix that. So, no, and thank you for asking. It was basically the tone of the announcement. And I was just like, well, if I've ever had a company be very honest and transparent about not giving a fuck about fixing a problem with the game, that was it.
That's super blunt. Don't ask any more
apparently
questions.
they also want to try to push mechs again, even though everyone hated it. So they're trying to reformulate that and they want to push mechs again. It's weird. It's a weird thing. But I guess as long as it's bringing in the dough, who knows any better than Epic right now?
Yeah.
I guess they found the formula for infinite dollars, and they really don't care to fuck it up.
They really did find that
So
money
there's
tree
that
everybody's looking for.
The announcement that was a little more professional, but somehow pissed me off more than that, was Overwatch's recent announcement, where they addressed crossplay. Who the fuck wants crossplay on Overwatch? We just want cross-save, cross-data costumes, you fuckers! I hated that shit so much. So I'm reading this fucking bullshit statement where fucking Blizzard, I don't remember if it was Kaplan or just Blizzard, some other fuckhead from... Kaplan, you're cool, you're not that much of a fuckhead. But, or it was some random Joe Schmo from Blizzard who was just like, guys, crossplay is really hard to do, especially PC between console. And I'm like, who wants crossplay? I don't want crossplay. No one wants crossplay. My PS4 friends don't want to play with my Xbox friends. I don't play with PC. None of them want to do that shit. They're going to fuck up the thing. Their ping's going to be all fucked up. No one wants that.
Yeah.
We want cross items. And cross, not even ranking. No one gives a fuck about that either. We want cross items. That's all we're asking
Just
for.
give me my skin.
But they said that was always the biggest complaint about Overwatch being on so many platforms and people wanting to rebuy it to play with all their different friends. We're willing to buy the game like 4 times, bro. Like,
yeah, it's like just
we just want our costumes everywhere. Now, I know what they're gonna say. Well, it's too late now, guys. Some dumbass already bought it and bought $1,000 worth of loot boxes on every console, and we have to refund all these people that complain. Fuck that guy, okay? First of all, I'm that guy on Xbox already that spent like I'm gonna say about $500 in loot boxes to this point. I'm a dumbass. Don't punish everyone else
Right?
because I'm a dumbass. I want to have the cross. It's just we want our costumes on everything. How much it's like even to build up rank again? I would have so much incentive to build up rank again on Switch and PC.
Mm-hmm.
If I could have my Mercy breast cancer skin.
Yeah.
Like, please? Like, come on?
Let
my
it
lucky
happen.
Chloe Mercy? Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I hated it because they brought up a thing. Like to totally derail the explaining why they can't do one thing, they totally just made up a complaint and was just like, guys, we're really hearing you about that thing everyone's talking about that they're not talking about. Like, now, I know everyone's going to actually be in the comments and be like, well, people are asking for it, though. I know someone probably is on Reddit and NeoGAF and stuff like that. I know someone actually is.
They're just waiting.
But those with brains are the ones that, and people of culture, are worried about their costumes. Not being master rank and everything.
Yeah.
You know what? Are you master rank? Just get fucking master rank again. You're so fucking good, right?
Yeah.
Just get master
Just
rank
do
again
that
on the
again.
other thing. Is it really that hard? No.
No.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, we just want our costumes.
Yeah.
We want our Christmas this and
Can we
whatever
have
else
our
that.
costumes?
By the way, I was listening to an old podcast episode and it reminded me of when May had the controversy around her skin being kind of shitty that one Christmas.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Blizzard said they were going to rework it. Did they ever end up doing that, or did they just wipe their ass with that statement and not
I
ever
don't
do
know.
it?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah, okay. I
was
just wasn't sure. If something epic came out of it, I don't remember. But I do remember them being like, hey, we heard the complaints about May. Yeah, we understand it's a bit of just a recolor, essentially. So
I wanna say
we'll
they did,
go ahead and rework that. And then I don't think they ever
I want
did.
to say they.
I don't think they ever
I
did.
don't think they did.
And then, of course, there were the people who were saying Lucy. I remember that. I think that was the same Christmas people were saying that Lucia's skin was racist. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening in this world.
The Andes one?
Yeah, I think that was the one, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't know. I thought it was a cool costume for Lucio. I thought it was cool. But what do I know? I don't want crossplay on Overwatch, so I don't know anything. But, yeah. PlayStation Now is dropping to $10 a month.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know what PlayStation Now is or never used it or can't be fucked to bother to use it, it's their online streaming service for games. So you can play your PS3 games awfully, really shittily on your PS4. Because all it basically is what the Stadia is trying to be, but it came out forever ago on PS3. So you could stream your PS3 library and some PS2 games. Now you can stream some of your PS2 games and your PS3 games on your PS4 through your internet connection. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Does everyone think this is a thing? Especially with the internet infrastructure here in the States and places that just have bad or pavo internet. It's just, no. Stop it. But it made me think, though. Well, at least they're charging you less, right? Now instead of $20 a month, you're paying $10, which is still, fuck that. But anyways, the thing that made me think about is PlayStation Now has been a thing for a while and has been a bit of a universally disliked thing among the gamer community, critically and player-wise, of just not being that good unless you just have fucking plugged-in god-tier internet. With that being said, how did Stadia not see that and already be like, oh, well, this is, like, how did Google go, yeah, we're going to do that better?
Yeah, I don't
PlayStation
know.
can't even
I
do
personally
that.
have never used it, but I know these two people I follow on Twitch, Heroes of Fitness, they were actually playing Red Dead Redemption through PS Now, and they had very few problems with it. There were some glitches at times, but for the most part, it seems to run well for them.
Okay, are they
that's
located
that's
in the
my
States?
only exposure to it.
Are they American? Or maybe Canadian or otherwise?
Nah, they're American.
Okay. Good. Fair enough. Just want to make sure they don't have god tier Korean internet or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know who their ISP is. I do know they've had issues where they've had to increase their internet speed because of issues they've had in the past. But
not with PlayStation
I've only
Now.
seen like a few glitches that they've experienced playing it on PS Now.
I guess, let me put it this way. My final thing on it is, I think that, like, for those who can get it to work, it's not a bad service. There's actually a lot of good games on there, especially like your classic PS2 and PS3 games. Like, there's some cool stuff on there.
Yeah, but not everybody has,
Exactly.
decent top-tier internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's that.
That's going to be a problem.
So Josh obviously just said he never personally used it. Did you, Mel? Never?
No.
I did the month trial or whatever that they had a little while ago, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? I have Google Fiber, by the way, which is one of the better internet you can get here in the States. Yeah. I mean, it's still... Streaming games, guys, I don't... Game devs and publishers... I don't know why you guys think this is where we're going.
It's not.
We may be, and if we are going there, A, it's just because you want more control, because now you can just flip a switch on us.
Mm-hmm.
But B, the internet's not there yet.
No.
Everyone's internet capabilities is not there yet. You guys already had the Stadia Tech demo that barely worked. Like, stop it. Like, no, we're not there. We're just not there.
No, we're not. Not even close.
We're really not. We may be in a world where most people buy their games digital now, unless you're Mallory or Josh. But but we're still not on like streaming only, which I would really hate. Honestly,
Yeah.
even being digital boy, I would still hate streaming only. I still like to be able to download that shit. Like Spotify, I download all my shit onto my phone, and so that way it just does that check to make sure I have the account and all that bullshit. Like.
Yeah.
I like downloading my stuff digitally. I like my digital content, but streaming only.
Me and Josh are still living in the dark ages where we have to have that copy that's just like, it's
I
mine now.
I almost bought a physical cartridge for my Switch.
For the collection!
Yeah, I almost bought a physical card for my Switch, and then I changed my mind and canceled it and said, what the fuck am I doing?
He was not like us, Josh.
Yeah, there was that. I tried it, and I said... Fire hot, but not on TV. But I don't know why I'm the caveman.
I don't know either.
I should have been more aristocratic. I should have been like, ooh, look at these people
look
using
at these
their
peasants
peasant.
using their
What is that? A peasant card?
peasant.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Look at all these pixels that I can't touch. I love this game. And then finally. We don't really have a real final topic discussion thing, so I'm just going to say the final bit of news and then we're going to wrap up. It's going to be very that was that
Sweet.
type of podcast.
No,
but
right.
again, that was just what it is. Little bit more dumbass dog in the background. Anyways, a little bit more light shed on the whole Troy Baker situation with Borderlands. So coming up to it, there's been all sorts of mixed reports. Troy Baker for sure did make that comment at that convention that he was recorded at, where he did say, they didn't ask me to come back, or whatever the exact context was. He was basically like, it turns out that wasn't entirely true. However, Troy Baker is also not entirely wrong to not return. But basically what happened is it ended up being over union shit. Troy Baker was negotiating with Gearbox, and Gearbox said that if he was being represented by the union and because he wanted to unionize all the voice actors together as well as being part of his union, and was just like, we should all. I think that unionizing is a good thing. Yeah, unionizing is a good thing. You're not the fucking fuck asses of Gearbox. But apparently Gearbox told him that cannot be part of the deal. We want to work with you. We want you to return as Reese, but if you don't drop this whole union nonsense idea with us, you can be, fuck, but if you don't basically waive the union thing with us / not do the union thing with us, this isn't going to work out. And at that point, Troy had to make the very logical decision to just walk away from the project. Yeah. So, by saying that he wasn't, made aware or approached officially, not necessarily true. I guess that might have been his way to just kind of stay out of the politics at the time. But now there is an official... He officially explained it on the record and explained why. But I think that, we could go all day about unions and retail world, especially here in the States and stuff like that. But we'll try to keep it centralized for discussion purposes. But it's not even a good question to say, should there be unions? I think we should all speak up if you guys disagree, but I think we would all say that it'd be safe to say that all the voice actors, especially talent and stuff like that, that's hired on a per basis thing or not an official employee of the company protected by those type of rights, should all be in a union of some sort. Writers, actors, devs, testers. They should all be part of their own union.
I mean, we have unions for everything.
Yeah.
Just about, so...
Yeah.
Why aren't they in a union?
So... Just in the state!
Yeah, not the states.
Yeah.
Well, not most retail in the states.
Good old right to work. Woo!
It's amazing, you know. You know, that can get me fired. Never mind.
Damn.
Yeah, let's not go there. Yeah, there's unions in places.
Yeah. There's stuffs and things.
But anyways, there's not much of a discussion. I don't know, I'm trying to turn into a discussion topic, but there really isn't. The next thing I was going to ask you guys is, do you guys think Troy Baker's right for doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you can catch us every Monday. Anyways, all right, Mr. Josh, where can everyone find you on the internet? Your lovely stuff's on the internet. How's your Gundam going? Before you say that.
Oh, what about... Gunsaw?
Gundam. How's your Gundam going?
Or your Gunsaw, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was actually earlier today, I was working more on the Barbatos Lupus. I got both of the legs done, so just had to work on the torso and the rest of the crap.
Nice. I like how much of a disease it sounds like, that Gundam. What did you get this weekend? I got a case of the Barbatos Lupus.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds terrible.
But it's a cool Gundam, though.
But it's never Barbatos Lupus. Never Barbados Lupus.
Never. Okay. And so, for progress photos and everything of that, where can they find you, Mr. Josh?
Mostly on my Instagram at Joshiro Joestar, which is also the same tag as Twitter. And then YouTube will be ShiroPlay5. Haven't put anything up there recently.
It's been a while, right? I was going to say, I haven't seen you pop up.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. I haven't really been able to work on anything, and it's hard to get motivated when you're constantly busy almost every weekend.
Yeah, and once you put it down for a while, it's easy to go into a rabbit hole. I may be consistent now, but there was a few years I definitely wasn't. So, yeah. Miss Mallory?
You can find me on Instagram right now at awesome_Mally. Don't do awesome Melly because that's not me.
I mean, unless you want to follow them.
I mean, you can follow them.
Free plug.
Support their stuff, I guess. But no, I'm awesome_Melly. And yeah, that's about it for right now.
That's it. That's it for right now. And then me, for those who I didn't get to talk to over the last couple of K-pop nights, because there were two in a row. That's actually what I did this weekend also, which is a lot of fun. I am going to start a brand new series on my YouTube channel, which I won't reveal the title of yet. That's going to air every Friday at 11 a.m. It's 1 minute K-pop covers, so do contact me at the email provided on my shit. If you do want to get a hold of me, and if you're interested in that, I'll talk out more details with you. You can see all that and more at SlimAsianEntertainment.com, and you can find all episodes of Disconnected Cast, the whole future, present thing, T800 nonsense, at DisconnectedCast.com. And until next week, we will catch you guys every week at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.